Hello children, today we are going to complete the first unit workbook, page number 16, reading comprehensions. Read the following passage. He bent down and brought his face close to her wrinkled cheeks. Amma, it's me, Gopi. Kamala, I can't believe it. Has his school closed for vacation? Amma is often like this these days. She doesn't recognize anybody, Gopi's sister explained. But sometimes her memory is quite sharp. Then she asks me if you have sent any letter. I tell her everything is fine with you, Vimala and the kids. What is the point of telling her that you haven't written for a year? Poor thing. I wouldn't dream of making her unhappy. I got a promotion last year. After that, I am always on my toes. And there are tours quite often. I don't get any time to write letters. Why don't you ask Vimala to write, or doesn't she get any time too? What are you mumbling over there? Amma said loudly. I heard somebody coming in a car. Who is it? I told you it's Gopi. But Gopi is in Delhi, isn't he? Yes, Amma, it's me. I have come from Delhi. Who did Gopi marry? Amma said suddenly, lowering her voice. I mean, what's his wife's name? Don't say you have forgotten her name too. Don't you remember? Vimala, District Collector Nambiya's eldest daughter? Gopi's sister said, Oh, I forgot the name. Was there a letter from Gopi today? There was. He writes every day. So, it completes the passage, children. After reading the passage, we need to answer the questions. Now, let us see the questions based on this passage. Poor thing. I wouldn't dream of making her unhappy. Who could be unhappy in the above context if she knew the reality? Gopi's daughter? Gopi's mother? Vimala or Kamala? Who feels unhappy, children? Gopi's mother will feel unhappy because she feels that every day her son is writing a letter to her. But he is not doing so for a year. It is given in the paragraph, isn't it? So, tick B and write in the bracket B option is the right one. Pick out the phrase that means busy from the above text. So, from this text we have to take out a word which means busy. Quite sharp, bend down, mumbling over, on toes. So, quite sharp means being very intelligent, bend down means bending down, or mumbling means murmuring something or speaking in a very low voice. So, on toes means very busy. So, which option is correct? D option is correct. All of you write D here in the bracket and tick the option D. Amma is often like this these days. What does this refers to in the above line? Always asking questions, not recognizing anybody, very sharp, or recognizing everybody. By reading this paragraph, we came to know that she is not recognizing anybody, isn't it? So that refers to not recognizing anybody. All of you tick B option and write over here in the bracket B. Now let us see the next questions in the next page number 17. He bent down and brought his face close to her wrinkled cheeks. Why do you think he did like that? He wanted to test her. He wanted to be recognized by her. He wanted to hug her, to express his love for her, or he couldn't see her face. So which option is right, children? He wanted to recognized by her. B option is the right one. Kindly write here B. Which of the following statements is not correct? According to the text. Gopis, see here. Kindly read the question properly. Which of the following statement is not correct? You have to tick. Gopi's mother doesn't recognize Gopi. It is true. Gopi hasn't written letters to his mother. This is also true. Kamala knows that Gopi hasn't any love and affection for his mother. This is also true. Kamala knows that Gopi doesn't have any love and affection towards his mother. Gopi's school has been closed for vacation. So this is the false statement. Now Gopi is working. Isn't it, children? He is a government officer. So which option is the wrong one? D. All of you tick D option and in the bracket you write D. Now answer the following questions in 2 or 3 sentences. It is given. Let us do this one. Amma knew his wife's name. See, Amma asked Kamala, what is his wife's name? Do you think she really did not know his wife's name? If so, why did she say so? So, Amma knows his wife's name, isn't it, children? But she has lost her memory. Due to that one, she is unable to recognize. How to write the answer? Amma knew his wife's name, but she lost her memory, so she cannot recognize anyone. That's the reason she is unable to recognize the name of Gopi's wife also. Now let us go to the next question. According to Gopi, why couldn't he write letters to his mother? According to Gopi, after promotion, he became quite busy with his work. He doesn't get any time to write the letters. Understood, children? So you need to write. Once again, shall I read? According to Gopi, after promotion, he became quite busy with his office work. You can write over here office work also. He doesn't get any time to write the letters. Now let us see the next question. 8th question. Kamala said to Amma, he writes every day. Do you think he really writes every day? Why do you think she says so to her mother? Why Kamala is saying a lies to her mother? Because she doesn't want to hurt her. Isn't it, children? No, Gopi doesn't write any letters to them. Kamala loves her mother very much. She doesn't want to make her unhappy by telling the truth. Very simply, you can write that she doesn't want to hurt her mother's feeling, so she never tells the truth. By this sentence, see here, what do you understand by the expression? Gopi, Kamala, I can't believe it. Has his school closed for vacation? By this sentence, we can understand that Gopi's mother has totally lost her memory, but still loves her son and remembers him. Now let us see the last question. Do you think Gopi did a right thing in not writing letters to his mother? Justify your answer. No, Gopi did a wrong thing in not writing letters to his mother. He might have taken good care of his mother. It was his responsibility. Though his mother lost her memory, she always been caring for him. Okay, you can justify your answer by writing these sentences. Now let us go for page number 18. Next paragraph. Read the following poem. In the next paragraph, what is given? A poem is given, children. Now let us read the poem carefully and then answer the questions. Now let us read the poem, children. The sun descended in the west, the evening star does shine. The birds are silent in the nest, and I must seek for mine. The moon like a flower, the heavens high bower, with silent delight, sits and smiles on the night. Farewell green fields and happy grove, where flocks have looked delight, where lambs have nibbled, silent move the feet of angels bright. Unseen they pour blessings and joy without ceasing on each bird and blossom and each sleeping blossom. They look in every thoughtless nest where birds are covered warm. They visit caves of every beast to keep them all from harm. If there see any weeping that should have been sleeping, They pour sleep on their head and sit down by their bed. This is the wonderful poem, children. Now let us see the questions which are based on this poem. If you don't understand the poem, we need to read the poem 2 or 3 times. Then you will be able to understand the poem. After reading the poem, we have to look at the question answers. Then again you need to read the poem so that it will be very easy for you to understand the poetry when it is given in the examination. Now let us see, children. The evening stars rises when the birds leave their nest. It is midnight, or it is dawn, or the sun descends in the west. Now let us see this one. The sun descends in the west, the evening star does shine. So when is the evening star shining, children? When the sun is descending in the west, the evening star is shining. Now let us tick the option D. Now write it in the bracket D. So the evening star rises when the sun descends in the west. Here bower represents to a potted plant, a bouquet of flowers, a framework that supports climbing plants, a flower vase. So a bouquet of flowers. You can see the poem. And that answer is there. See, heaven's eye bowers the moon like a flower in heaven's high bower. So who are the bowers? The bouquet of flowers. C option is the right one. You can write here C. Now let us answer the following questions given under this poem. What does the poet compare the moon to? So he is comparing the moon with a flower, isn't it? So the poet compare the moon with, or you can write compares the moon with a flower. Understood, children? The poet compares the moon with a flower. Why do angels come down to the earth? Angels come down to the earth to give the blessings and joy. Here you can see here, unseen they pour blessings and joy. Who are pouring blessings and joy? The angels. The feet of angels bright, unseen they pour. That means the angels are pouring the blessings and joy. So here in the 14th question, what you need to write? Angels come down to the earth to give blessings and joy. Now let us see the next question. Why is the bird's nest described as thoughtless? The bird's nest is described as thoughtless because they are fast asleep without any care. Here, the birds are covered warm. The meaning of this sentence is they are fast asleep. They are in a deep sleep without any care. If enemies are coming to hunt them also, they are least bothered about it because they are in a very deep sleep. So, what you have to write the answer here? The birds in the nest is described as thoughtless because they are fast asleep without any care. Now, identify the figure of speech used in the line, in heaven's high bower. I already explained about metaphors, similes and personification, isn't it? So, in heaven's high bower, it is a metaphor. So, what is heaven's high bower? It is a metaphor. These are called figures of speech. Now, let us go to the next paragraph, children. Read the following passage, focusing on the parts of underline and answer the questions given at the end as directed. Write the answers in your answer booklet. I got a promotion last year. After that, I am always on my toes. And there are tours quite often. I don't get any time to write the letters. Why don't you ask Vimala to write, or doesn't she get any time to? What are you mumbling over there? Amma said loudly. I heard somebody come in a car. Who is it? I told you it's Gopi, but Gopi is at Delhi. Isn't he? Yes, Amma, it's me. I have come from Delhi. This is the passage, children. So, as they have directed, you need to write the answer where we are finding the underlined words. Now, let us see. Pick out the idiom, which means busy. So, from the underlined sentences. After that, I am always on my toes. So, on my toes means busy. Understood, children? So you have to write on my toes, or you can write on toes also. Replace the word with a suitable one. So here quite often he has given. So we have to write another word or a suitable word. So quite often you can write very often or frequently also. It is also a suitable word. You can write both the words, or you can write frequently also or very often also. Write the meaning of the underlined word. Speaking. So what is the underlined word? Mumbling. What is the meaning of mumbling, children? Speaking very unclearly and quietly, very slowly. That is not hearable to others. The meaning of mumbling is that. So what is the meaning of mumbling? Speaking unclearly and quietly. Now let us see here. What is the next question? Use the correct form of the verb. Here come is there. Somebody came in a car. Isn't it? Come becomes came. Here C-A-M-E, came is the correct form of the verb. Now see here. I told you it's Gopi, but Gopi is at Delhi. Use the correct preposition in place of underlined words. In place of at, what we can write? We can write in. I-N, in. So you write I-N, in. Now let us see these questions 22 to 26. Complete the passage choosing the right words from the given brackets. So here one paragraph is given with the blanks. We need to choose a word and fill in the blanks. Here 4 options are given. We need to choose one answer. Whenever you go trekking or walking through a marsh. All of you write through a marsh. Remember to watch out. Watch out. So first one is D. Kindly tick over D. And second one is B. Kindly tick over B. For leeches. Leeches look like. B is the right answer. You write like. Earthworms. But they are a nuisance. They cling on to the body of human beings or animals and suck. S-U-C-K, suck blood from it. Understood, children? So first one is D, second one is B, third one is B, fourth one is B, and fifth one is C. Now let us move on to the next passage which is given in page number 20. In page number 20, long back I have given these 2 passages as homework. So you need to do by yourself these 2 because in the textbook they are given directly. Using the punctuation marks you need to rewrite these paragraphs. Now let us see the passage which is given in the page number 20. Here 27 to 31. Let us read this passage. What we have to do? Here numbers are given 27, 28, 29, 30 and 31. These numbers are given for each sentence. For each sentence we are having an error. So we have to find out the error, underline it, and we have to write the correct answer over here. Now let us do, children. I will tell him, he nodded. Please don't forget to tell him. What he has given here? Told is given. With red pen you underline that one. Told is the mistake. What we have to write here? T-E-L-L, tell. The mist is not good to me. Instead of to, preposition, we have to write for. Underline to with the red pen and write here F-O-R, for. 29th one, I think I will stretch ourselves. So I think, here I is a single person. He is speaking of himself. Isn't it? Himself or herself. I think I will stretch myself. So instead of ourselves, what we have to write here, children? Myself. I will stretch myself out for a bit. Now all of you write here myself. Now I have sitting too long in the armchair. Something is missing here when we are reading. So here, see here, I have been missing. Been, B-E-E-N, been. I have been sitting too long in the armchair. So what you are going to write here? B-E-E-N, been. I have a pain on the neck. See, on, on is the preposition and it is written mistake, isn't it? It is an error. So what you have to write in place of that? I have a pain in the neck. I-N, in. This completes this passage, children. These two I have given homeworks. Now let us go to this one. So this is also your homework, children. If you are unable to write this one, I am going to send the pic. See, observe the following picture and write 10 to 12 sentences about it. You can see this picture. This is a picture of a market, isn't it? It is a scene, market scene, isn't it? So you need to write 10 to 12 sentences about this scene or a picture. Now let us go for the passage number 1, which is given in page number 24. Do you know my son Gopi? Amma asked him. He is in Delhi. A government officer. He has Kesari Yogam. He draws a salary of 2,500 rupees. Do you know him? Yes, I know him. Tell him to send. Here spelling is wrong, children. Send. Tell him to send me a blanket. There is a cold mist in the mornings. If I catch cold, it doesn't leave me for a long time. Tell him to send a blanket, won't you? A red one. I had a blanket, the one he brought for me when he was studying in Madras. It is all tattered now, just a ball of knotted yarn. Tell him to send me a red blanket, will you? I will tell him, he nodded. Please don't forget to tell him. The mist is not good for me. I think I will stretch myself out for a bit. I have been sitting too long in the armchair. I have a pain in the neck. Gopi's sister puts Amma to bed and came back to the veranda. You didn't come to see Amma, did you? Delhi is too expensive. You know, I have 4 children to look after now. I can't make both ends meet with my salary. And one has to keep up one's status. It will be a great help if I can raise some money by selling share of my family property. I came to talk it over with you. You will sell your land and go away with the money. I know you won't come here anymore after that. Don't say that. I will come when I get time. Your time? So this is the passage taken from the lesson 1, children. Now let us see what are the questions based on the passage. Who serves as a government officer in Delhi? Amma, Kamala, Gopi or Vimala? Here in the passage. See, do you know Gopi? Amma asked. He is in Delhi, a government officer. Now who is the government officer? Gopi. Now write the option B is the right one and tick the option B. Who is I in the line? I will come when I get time. So Gopi, Kamala, Ramesh, Suresh. We are talking about Gopi, isn't it? So Gopi, A option is the right one. Kindly write A in the bracket. Now see here, just see. Mist means ice, fog, snow, rain. You can write fog. C option is right. Understood, children? Now let us see the next bits. What type of son is Gopi? An irresponsible son, a responsible son, an ideal son or a true son? He is an very irresponsible son, isn't it? So write the option A here and tick the option an irresponsible son. Why he is irresponsible? He is not taking care of his parents nor sister, isn't it? The cost of living in Delhi is expensive, so expensive, very expensive, too expensive. According to the passage, in the passage it is given that it is too expensive to live in Delhi. So D option is right. You write D in the bracket. Now let us see the question answers which are given here. Answer the following questions in 1 or 2 sentences in your own words. The mother could not remember Gopi. Do you think Gopi remembered his mother? What does this suggest? This suggests us that the Gopi is not at all worried about his mother. He is least bothered about her because he never writes a letter to her nor visits her to know about her situation or health. Understood, children? So this sentence suggests that he is not at all caring for his mother. He never writes the letter nor he visits his mother to know about the health of his mother. Why did Amma want a blanket? Amma wanted a blanket because the blanket which she was having then was tattered. Here tattered means torn. You can write in the bracket torn. Now explain the expression make both ends meet. Make both ends meet is an idiomatic expression which means to have enough money to cover the expenses. 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 So let me read the answer once again. Make both ends meet is an idiomatic expression which means to have enough money to cover the expenses. Why did Gopi visit his mother? Gopi wanted to sell his share of family property. He wanted to talk it over with his mother. So he visited his mother. Understood, children? If you were Gopi's sister, how would you respond to his behavior? If I were Gopi's sister, I would have responded to him very harshly for his irresponsible behavior. Very simple answer, children. This completes the passages up to page number 25. In the next class from page number 26, we will continue the passages.